Yo, what up everyone? Showdown has given us another developer insight about the upcoming UI improvements. Honestly, I think that is something we have all been waiting for, because I'm gonna be nice here, the current UI is... let's just say you have to get used to it. But let's take a look at it. Hunters, thank you all for your feedbacks. Since the release of Hunt Showdown 1896, especially regarding the UI changes, your insights have been invaluable. We recognize that some of our recent redesigns fell short of delivering the functionality and usability you came to expect. I'm glad that they're admitting that. That is like, honestly, the full truth. I think they had a lot of good intentions with those changes, but just failed to deliver. Many of the changes were initially aimed at improving the console player experience, but we understand now that some of the new screens sacrificed functionality that was key to the PC experience. I think we all knew that this looked more like a console UI, but I'm glad that they're admitting it, and that they are admitting that they also have to cater to the PC player. Let's look at the loadout redesigns. The loadout screen is critical for quickly equipping favorite setups, but the current design isn't making the process intuitive. Here's how we are improving it. Custom loadouts will return to a vertical list format so we can display 10 custom loadouts at once. I like that. Currently I am only using the very first 3 slots of my 15 loadout slots, so I think this is a great change. Both custom loadouts and hunter loadouts will now display side by side to reduce memory strain. I'm glad. Sometimes you don't really know what you have equipped right now, then you have to like jump back and forth, and it just becomes a little bit tricky. Let's be honest, nobody likes to jump between different windows, different UIs, while getting the hunter ready for another bounty hunt. Actions for overwriting and selecting loadouts will be clearer. I am so glad they're doing that. So many times, especially at the beginning of the engine upgrade, I have accidentally deleted or overwritten my loadout presets, and it's such a hassle to like unequip everything, re-equip everything, then save it. So I'm glad we're gonna get some kind of like assurance that it's not gonna happen accidentally. The gear screen will display the name of the loadout being edited to reduce confusion when stepping away from the game. I'm glad, that's not a bad change. Alright, the next change is gonna be team details. The current team details screen presents a lot of icons and colors while only showing a few teams at once. Our redesign aims to simplify and enhance this experience via the improvements below. The number of teams displayed will increase. A 3-color icon system will clarify actions. Gold represents your actions, blue represents your teammates' actions, red represents enemy actions. Honestly, I'm glad that they're clearing that up. Currently, the whole after-match process, trying to like see what happened, what team did what at what point in time, is a bunch of clicking. It very often doesn't work, so I'm glad they're addressing that. The color-based icon system aims to make actions and interactions clearer and more consistent. Numbers and tooltips will now display for items with multiple instances, reducing the need to decipher multiple icons. That's a good change. The legend has been moved to the actions menu, allowing more of the screen remain visible in the background. It is now more compact with items organized into groups. I'm glad. You can open the legend if you want to see what all the icons do, but over time, once you get used to it, you know what all the icons mean, all the colors mean, you can just simply never open it again and have more of the actual match history on your screen. Timelines for all teams will toggle open simultaneously, eliminating the need to manually activate them one by one. I'm glad. It is really annoying, like sometimes you want to see like when you killed what guy, and then you have to like open different timelines, and the current UI is just a mess and very confusing. I don't think that is a wrong thing to say. Ooh, they're also changing the post-mission summary. While our goal was to modernize the post-mission summary, we have realized the removal of accolade cards and their animations detracted from the game's identity. And here's how we are addressing that. Honestly, I'm glad. Like currently, once you get out of a match, it's really hard to understand what happened, and you have to click around, open a bunch of sub-menus. Suddenly it's not working, then you have to like jump back into the main menu, press play, go to team details, and it's currently just a mess. So I'm glad that they're clearing up the entire screen, like you can see on this picture here. The main changes that they have done after a mission: players will immediately see the acolytes complete with new animations to celebrate your achievements. I'm glad, I think people will like that, me included. A comprehensive mission stats screen and weekly challenge progression will follow, putting critical information front and center. Submenus will be consolidated into tabs at the top to streamline navigation and reduce friction. I'm glad, so we're gonna get out of the match, end up on this little acolyte screen, see the main things that happen during the match, and if we want to get more details, we have the top menu up there and we can jump in between it. I'm glad, this is like a much better UI than we are currently having. Honestly, I like all those changes, and I'm glad they're starting to realize that, certain things about the old UI were actually better than what we are currently having, and sometimes you simply do not have to reinvent the wheel. Alright, we got some pause menu enhancements. We have prioritized context and quick access to critical information in multiplayer missions. The game will now remain visible in the background on the pause menu, preserving situational awareness. It's kinda how it used to be in Old Hunt Showdown, when you pressed escape to check your teammates' inventory, but everybody was running, could still kinda see stuff moving in the background. That's what we're basically going back to. Your team's loadouts will move out of a submenu and will be the first thing you see for quick reference during missions. I am so glad. On top of that, I really hope they're fixing it, that when my teammate picks up new items, swaps weapons, that will actually live update. I'm sorry Crytek, but that is currently not working and has not worked since the engine upgrade. And honestly, it is such an important piece of information to see, like, hey, how many heals do my teammates have left? What kind of gun is my teammate running? Did they maybe swap their gun? Does my teammate, need me to heal him? That's important information. So I'm glad that they're working on it. After implementing these updates, our focus will shift towards refining other planned quality of life improvements. Along the way, we'll also identify and introduce smaller adjustments to further enhance the overall experience. I'm glad we're getting a quality of life series in the future. Yes, I've already seen it in my 2.3 video. Highly recommend checking that out. But I'm glad they're actually going in the right direction here. Oh, equipment selection. That's also another very important topic. We have heard your feedback about the inconvenience of navigating to a separate menu to select skins for your equipment. To address this, we have brought skin selection directly to the equipment grid. I'm so glad we're going back to that. This is another step backwards, but positively. For anyone who hasn't played Hunt before the engine upgrade, you were able to, in the menu itself, select your skins, like you can see on the screen here, just move left or right and swap the skin instead of having to open a completely individual menu. Sometimes it doesn't work, then you have to open the menu again and again and again and again, and suddenly equipping skin has become this really annoying feature in the menu, and I'll be honest, I sometimes don't even care anymore. I just play the default skin, even though I do have all the skins in the game, because I just do not want to deal with it. So I'm glad we're getting some improvements on that. Integrated skin selection, players will be able to toggle through their own skins for the equipment directly within the equipment grid. That's exactly what we just talked about. Future enhancements, we are also working on improving the flow for equipping charms and equipment animations, with more details to come later. I'm glad they're working on it, and I'm glad that they have finally realized that the current navigation, especially when it comes to equipping skins or swapping skins, is a problem. Alright, the next one is Recruit 3 Hunters. We've heard your concerns about the difficulty of comparing recruits effectively. To address this, we are reverting to an older design. Good job, Crytek, I'm glad. Finally, we're going back to the stuff that has worked in the past, and we're not trying to reinvent the wheel for the entire purpose of reinventing the wheel and being able to be the guy, hey, I've reinvented the wheel. Finally, we're going back to an older design that everybody liked and was very convenient. All 4 hunters and their loadouts will now be visible simultaneously, reducing memory strain and back and forth navigation. Now we have hunter detail improvements. PC players have often felt that the hunter detail screen was redundant, since they could interact with all the widgets present directly from the previous screen. The primary concern was having to navigate to a separate screen for actions that felt too similar. To address this, we are improving the distinction between the 2 screens, creating more seamless experience. We aim to make hunter details a focused view of the active roster while retaining access to your other hunters. I actually like that everything's a little bit more compact now. You can actually, don't get sent to a different menu. You actually will stay in the menu and everything just like gets a little bit bigger and smaller, so it doesn't feel like you're constantly jumping from one menu to another, to another, to another. Integrated hunter grid. When a hunter is selected, the grid will now minimize to the bottom of the screen, allowing quick access to the other hunters without leaving the current view. I like that. So basically you select the hunter that you want, then the hunter selection screen goes a little bit downward, makes it a little bit smaller so it doesn't take as much space on your screen, so you have more vision when it comes to equipping your actual equipment. Streamlined transitions. Hunter details will act as a transitional screen, letting you maintain focus on your current hunter while keeping other options easily accessible. And top navigation. The top navigation bar will now remain visible in hunter details, providing direct access to other key screens like Loadout's lobby and the store. Honestly, I like that. We're basically, like you can see here, just making certain windows get smaller or bigger, so we do not have to jump in between windows. It's quite annoying, especially right now in the current UI. Sometimes even the buttons you have to press in one screen and the other screen, for example, to get to your loadouts, are different. I get very often quite irritated about that I suddenly wanna open my preset loadouts, but then by pressing X I swap from bounty hunt to bounty clash, for example, and then it just gets messy. Another very important part in this UI developer update are lobby improvements. We have heard your feedback on the home screen and lobby, and we will share our progress in an upcoming update. Our goal is to unify lobbies into a single screen while also improving party management with these much requested features. Adding the ability for duos to matchmake a random third player. I think we are all waiting for that. This is one of the main features I was very excited for with the engine upgrade. I really hope we're gonna get it very soon, because I know a lot of people are waiting for this feature. Retaining parties when switching game modes. I never had that issue, but seemingly sometimes when you swap from bounty hunt to bounty clash, it broke the party, and then you have to re-invite everybody. Quite annoying, and I'm glad they're gonna fix that. Allowing any party member, not just the leader, to send invites. This is such a W, especially when you played with mixed friends. Not everybody has each other added on Steam, then you have to send out Steam codes, etc. This way you can just invite your friend invites the other friend, then you guys can play, send Steam invites later. Suddenly inviting people has become less of a hassle. Enabling PC players to invite 2 players at once. Finally. We all know that you invite your one friend and he's AFK for whatever reason, maybe tapped on the desktop, finishes watching a YouTube video or whatever they're up to, maybe talking to their significant other, and it takes a minute for the invite to happen, and you're gonna be yeah, I already sent out an invite, I have to wait for, Tom to accept the invite before I can invite you. It's also helping to not always have to open another menu, invite friend, Steam UI pops up, invite that friend, everything closes again, invite again, Steam UI pops up again, so it's another step reducing jumping between windows. So it's a great change in my opinion. Allowing party leadership to be transferred between members. I don't really see the point of that, but why not? I don't have an issue with that at all. We are committed to making Hunt Showdown 1896 the best experience it can be. These updates reflect our dedication to listening, learning and improving based on your feedback. We look forward to bringing these improvements to you throughout 2025. Thank you for your continued support. We couldn't do this without you. I really hope they're gonna stick to their word this time and actually gonna stick to listening, learning and improving the game, because the game desperately does need that. But this was it for the video. Let me know what you guys think about all these UI changes. There are also some changes in the visual department, but I think they're not that worth mentioning. I don't think most people really care about cooler lighting on the enemy, on the hunters in the menu screen and things like that. So I left them out to make the video a little bit shorter. I will be posting the developer blog in the comment section if you want to check it out.